Breaking news in the ongoing trade dispute between the United States and Canada. Ontario Premier Doug Ford has issued a stark warning, threatening to cut off electricity exports to the US if the trade war escalates further. This comes as tensions rise following President Donald Trump's recent tariff announcements. Let's dive into the details. President Trump has delayed some of the tariffs he planned to impose on Canada and Mexico, but that hasn't stopped Canada from preparing a forceful response. Ontario Premier Doug Ford has taken a bold stance, announcing a 25% surcharge on electricity exports to 3 US states: New York, Minnesota, and Michigan. The surcharge took effect immediately, and Ford didn't stop there. In a press conference, Ford warned that if the US imposes additional tariffs on Canadian goods, he would consider cutting off electricity entirely. Here's what he had to say. Ford's statement: "If the United States escalates, I will not hesitate to shut off the electricity completely. Believe me, I don't want to do this. I feel terrible for the American people because they aren't the ones who started this trade war. It's one person responsible for this, President Trump." Ford emphasized that the surcharge would increase costs for American families and businesses, estimating that it could add around $100 per month to the bills of residents in the affected states. However, he also acknowledged that Canada's energy sector would suffer in return. With Canada heavily reliant on US exports, a prolonged trade war could push the country into a recession. As the saying goes, no one wins in a trade war. The Ontario Premier's threats come in response to President Trump's recent actions. Last week, Trump announced plans to impose tariffs on Canadian dairy and lumber products, matching the duties Canada places on US goods. He also suggested that tariffs on Canada and Mexico could rise above the proposed 25% if the two countries fail to address the flow of fentanyl across the border into the United States. Doug Ford, a prominent figure in Ontario politics, has been vocal in his criticism of Trump's trade policies. In recent weeks, he has appeared on US cable news networks to promote his aggressive approach to the tariffs. Last week, he even claimed he would cut off power to the US with a smile on his face as the trade dispute continues. The escalating tensions highlight the fragile nature of US-Canada trade relations. While both countries have much to lose, Ford's warnings underscore the potential consequences of a prolonged trade war not only for businesses, but also for everyday citizens on both sides of the border. Stay tuned as we continue to monitor this developing story. For now, the question remains, will these threats lead to a resolution, or will the trade war continue to escalate? Only time will tell.